morning, American. It's Friday.
It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
Well, here we are. Yes, Mr. Paul Harvey. Americans, it is Friday. That's right. Finally, Friday. About time. Long and kind of weird week. But, you know, now I know that a lot of people work on Saturday, right? And Sunday. And all the years I worked in radio, I just started that a few minutes ago. All the years I worked in radio, I always worked on Saturday. Every Saturday, I always worked. And so, but still, Friday does have a feel to it, even though you do work on a Saturday. Friday still has a certain feel to it, and I don't know why. I think it's a holdover from when you were in school, right? When Friday really meant something. So Friday was the end of the school week. And because you probably didn't have a job, at least in the lower grades, you know, Friday really meant something. And even as adults, it still kind of means something. Anyway, there we go. So I'm driving up Mount Ashbaugh this morning, and there's more wildlife on Mount Ashbaugh, I'll tell you. So let me see. There were 1, 2, 3. First, there was a squirrel, and he managed to dodge the car, right? So he jumped off into the ditch. And then came a deer. There's always a deer on Ashbaugh Hill. Always a deer. So there was a deer. And then came this stupid rabbit. Now, this rabbit is sitting right smack in the middle of my lane. And I figured, well, as I get a little closer, this rabbit's going to, either go this way or go that way or do something. No. What does he do? He makes a U-turn and he starts running uphill. Right smack in front of the car. So I don't want to hit this rabbit. Okay, that's got to be bad luck, especially for the rabbit, I guess. So he's running in front of the car, but not very fast. So I'm going up Ashbaugh Hill about like 10 miles an hour. And I figured, well, I haven't hit him, I don't think. I didn't see him dodge this way or that way. Finally, he dives off on the right-hand side. So that was the rabbit. Oh, I felt like I was in the middle of a Disney movie or something. It was kind of weird. Okay, that's that. Where are we? Well, we haven't even started yet, have we? Well, this being August the 2nd already. August 2nd. What a really fast summer. And school will start when? Next month. It'll be here just like that. I know, don't panic, it isn't here yet, but school will be starting next month, I guess. And here's a question you probably asked yourself time and time again. It's driven you crazy for years. Why are school buses always yellow? Right? You have asked yourself that time and time again. Well, I have the answer right here. And I found this on Reader's Digest. Now, Reader's Digest might be old-fashioned, as I've said in the past, but they do have some really interesting stories. Here's why school buses are always yellow. Back in April of 1939, and armed with a $5,000 grant supplied by the Rockefeller Foundation, Columbia University Teachers College professor Frank Sear took a tour of 10 states to gauge the extent of school transportation issues. And what he found proved that student transportation was in a sorry state. Many students had no dependable way to go to school, and the ones who did often traveled in unsafe, unstandardized buses in the over 100,000 school districts that existed back then. 100,000 school districts in 1939. Now there were roughly 13,000. And one of the huge variations in school transportation that he saw, bus color. The color of buses, they were all different. So seeing a need to fix this system, Sear organized a conference, one that would change the future of school buses forever. School officials and transportation specialists convened to set much-needed standards for buses, including those for color, height, and width, as well as safety rules that hadn't previously been set or that varied by state. Another thing that also went through a much-needed standardization, stop signs. They used to be yellow. Stop signs were yellow, and much more recently than you think, although it isn't mentioned when they became red. Who knows? Anyway, so there were a lot of different colors on school buses, and they decided on something, the shade of orange. There were 50 shades ranging from lemon yellow to deep orange red, and the matter was settled quickly. Yellow, or National School Bus Glossy Yellow, as is officially called, by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, was chosen for its high visibility and the way it emphasized the bold black writing that would be on the side of the bus. And this yellow color is an important factor for vehicles that travel during early morning and late afternoon hours. 35 states made the changes promptly, and every state was on board by 1974. So even before, slightly before 1974, all school buses weren't yellow. And I can't think of ever seeing a school bus, even back in a long time ago. I can't ever remember seeing a school bus that wasn't yellow. But anyway, so Frank Sear is the father of the yellow school bus. So there you are, and now you know. Whew, boy, that's settled. Let me see here. Oh, speaking of school. There was a school. What's in it? Where did I find this? Fox News. Florida International University held its graduation earlier this week. And one student, what's his name here? Strange name. Can, that's his first name, Can, C-A-N, and Can Civic, a computer engineering student at Florida International University, decorated his graduation cap with an open-source microcontroller board that displayed the message FIU, Florida International University 2019. And there's a picture of his graduation cap. It looks like a bomb. I mean, this thing looks like a bomb. It has a bunch of wires in it and some computer chips or something. And the 2019 is a digital display. It looks almost like a timer. And there's a battery on this contraption on its graduation cap. So he tried to get into the ceremony, and the cops stopped him, right? Let me see. On his Instagram page, he described a microcontroller powered by a 9-volt battery as like a small programmable computer, which is pretty clever. I mean, he built one on his cap. So the cops asked him exactly what's going on here. So they made him take his cap off because they thought it was a bomb. So let me see, his cap and cell phone briefly were seized. And he says, he tells me to put it on the ground, on the floor, and instantly back away from it. So that's what he did. He took off his cap and his cell phone and all that, and he backed away from it. So they finally figured out that this thing was not a bomb. But it was really interesting. Apparently, people were a little concerned about all the activity that was going on. No panic, but people were at least a little edgy. So eventually, his graduation cap and the microcontroller were destroyed. I'm not quite sure why they did that. Why would they do that? I don't know, but they destroyed the little thing he built on his cap. And then, let me see, the school gave him a new cap, and there you go. So he graduated, and everybody lived happily ever after. But you ought to see this thing. Some people are pretty creative, I must say. I mean, the thing looks like a bomb. There's no doubt about it. Okay. Who else is in the news right now? Oh, that's right. Kim Jong-un, the little guy in North Korea there. He's fired, let me see, North Korea has fired, I think, 3 missiles this week or something short range. Or maybe 4. Anyway, they fired a bunch of short range missiles. I don't know what they think they're doing. I mean, maybe they're bored. Who knows? So, let me see. Kim Jong-un, strange little guy. During Kim's visit to Singapore last year for talks with the U.S., images of a dozen of Kim's bodyguards running alongside his car made headlines. Okay? So, why, oh why, do his bodyguards run alongside his limo? Well, according to a book written by a Washington Post correspondent, what is her name? Anna Fifield. And the name of the book, is The Great Successor, The Divinely Perfect Destiny of Brilliant Comrade Kim Jong-un. So Mr. Kim, or Mr. Un, however he refers to himself there, Kim got the idea for this human shield from Clint Eastwood. That's according to this lady who wrote this book on him. Anyway, he got the idea from human shield from Clint Eastwood. As a boy, he saw the movie In the Line of Fire, in which Eastwood plays a U.S. Secret Service agent who had been guarding John F. Kennedy when he was assassinated in 1963. Eastwood's character and other agents run alongside the president's car. All right? Becoming a bodyguard for the North Korean leader is extremely difficult. I don't know why you'd want that job, but hey, who knows? According to Lee Yong-guk, a bodyguard for Kim Jong-un's father, Kim Jong-il, it's harder than passing through the eye of a needle. Potential recruits are chosen from the military and must pass through several tests to judge their health, eyesight, looks, personality, and family background, according to Fifield. Those charged with guarding the brilliant comrade Kim Jong-un must have excellent credentials and come from only the most loyal classes. They must be around the same height as Kim. Well, that'd be difficult. He's a really short guy. And they're among the only citizens allowed to carry firearms near the leader. Lee, the former bodyguard for Kim Jong-il, told ABC News in 2018 that guards have to be good at shooting guns, then taekwondo, things like throwing knives, swimming, and marching, and then they must be very, very loyal. I mean, really loyal. And the bodyguards come from the main office of adjutants, or more colloquially, Central Party Office Number 6, according to the BBC. Although they're armed with handguns, they are primarily dependent on their observational skills and non-lethal weapons, like their hands and bodies, to deal with threats. So, there is a photograph of three of these guys, and they're standing there, they're talking. Now, these guys, his bodyguards, they're not big guys. Neither, they don't look like weightlifters, they don't look like bodybuilders, they're just kind of, actually, they're relatively slender. But there's some kind of air about these guys. I don't think you'd want to mess with them under any circumstances whatsoever. I mean, they just look really, what would the, threatening. They look threatening. Yeah, I don't think you want to mess with these guys. Anyway, so he watched a Clint Eastwood movie, and it seemed like a good idea, and that's why Kim Jong-un has these guys running alongside his limo. And from there, we move on to Google, wonderful company, had a summit on climate change in Italy this week. It was in Sicily, or on Sicily. And the Google Summit on Climate Change, attended by stars in private jets, mega yachts, slammed as hypocritical. Now, I found this, it was on a lot of sites this morning. I mean, it was on a bunch of sites. You ought to be able to find it like somewhere. Anyway, so Google's recent climate change conference, which was attended by Leonardo DiCaprio, Katy Perry, Orlando Bloom, and other A-list stars, is being slammed as hypocritical by many. Following an Italian press report claiming that the Google campers would flock to Sicily for a 3-day, $20 million event in 114 private jets, social media users were quick to point out what they saw as a disconnect. One Twitter user said, "Is there anything more hypocritical than a bunch of rich people flying their private jets across the world to sit on yachts and discuss the future of our planet?" And another one said, "Wow, just wow. Has Google not heard about video conferencing?" And what's another one here? Wow, another wow. If the climate is so bad, why do all these Google execs, rich folks, and celebrities fly 114 private jets, yachts, and limos to the climate change summit in Italy? Hypocrisy? Climate hoax? Asked another the Twitter user. And we have more. The hypocrisy of all these people and billionaires and A-listers that are traveling to a climate change summit in their private jets. The fact that Google spent $20 billion on this initiative, $20 billion, just shows that they'd rather look the part than be the part. Put that money into action. And then there was, here's another one here. Several celebrities, wealthy and famous people have arrived in Sicily for a Google summit to discuss climate change. Are these folks going to push for a bill to be passed to ban use of private jets and mega yachts? And there's lots and lots of comments. What else? Who else was there? President Obama was there. Prince Harry of England was there. He jetted to an Italian resort for the Google camp, which focused on climate change. And let me see. There's something about their yachts or something. One person arrived in a $200 million yacht. I mean, jets, private jets, a $200 million yacht. Many of the guests, including Obama and DiCaprio, who is his own climate change foundation, have described global warming as the biggest threat to future generations. Google Camp is meant to be a place where influential people gather to discuss how to make the world better. There will likely be discussions about online privacy, politics, human rights, and of course the environment, which makes it highly ironic that this event requires 100 private jets to happen. God, jeez. Holy mackerel. Who else was there? Bradley Cooper, Nick Jonas, Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg, designer Diane von Furstenberg. Furstenberg and Diller reportedly arrived via their $200 million yacht. DreamWorks founder David Geffen is said to have given Perry and Bloom a lift to the event on his $400 million yacht. So, wow. And these people are talking about climate change, and they all have these private jets and the big yachts, and I don't know how exactly that works. What else here? We have, if you're going to rob a bank, okay, and if you give the teller a note, be sure it doesn't have your name, address, and phone number on it, okay? Just be very, very sure. So, this guy in Ohio, he robbed a bank in Cleveland. So Michael Harold, 54 years old, allegedly tried ordering a teller to hand him over the cash from a U.S. bank location in Cleveland, he wrote it on the back of a document from the Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicles, complete with the alleged crook's full name and address. So when the teller took the note, he looked at it and looked at the other side, and she saw his name on it. He had used a note that had been used earlier at the motor vehicle office and had his name on it. So the teller referred to the guy by his name, "Hey, Mike," and gave him the money, and gave him an unknown amount of money before calling 911. So the teller also says that some people have left their cell phones. Some robbers have left their cell phones. Or right on the back of a personalized a stationery or something. Why do people do that? And then they leave it behind. I don't know. It's very, very strange. So, by the way, they still haven't found this guy. They still have not found this guy, even though they have his name, address, and phone number and all that, and they still can't find him. Now, Brian, yes. Do we have our weatherman on the phone?
Yes.
Yes, we do. All right. Oh, Gary, hello.
Hello. How are you doing, Jonathan?
Pretty good, pretty good. How's the weather doing?
Oh, weather's not doing too bad during today. We're looking at some sunshine and mixed in with occasional clouds right now, and there could be an afternoon shower or thunderstorm popping up. Temperatures up between 80 and 85 today, and maybe a shower or thunderstorm this evening, and then partly cloudy and back in the upper 50s overnight. For the weekend, I'd say it's going to be mostly sunny overall, but there'll be some pop-up clouds and maybe a shower or a thunderstorm each afternoon, but the chances are generally under 50% with that. High temperature, low 80s on Saturday afternoon, upper 50s at night, and about 75 to 80 on Sunday, and it looks like nice weather, Jonathan, for Monday and Tuesday as well.
Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. Thank you very much.
Okay, have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
In the NFL, we had the preseason opener, the Hall of Fame game, with the Broncos beating the Falcons 14-10. Most of the star players for each team did not play in this game, including the starting quarterbacks for each squad, Joe Flacco for Denver and Matt Ryan for Atlanta. Vic Fangio made his head coaching debut with the Broncos. He did become the first head coach in the NFL to challenge a pass interference call, a new rule this season in the league. That happened in the second quarter. Baseball games of note, the Cardinals shut out the Cubs 8-0. St. Louis reclaims first place in the NL Central. They're a game up on Chicago. Phillies over the Giants 10-2. Philadelphia is tied with Chicago and Washington for the 2 wildcard spots in the National League. Rays over the Red Sox 9-4. Tampa Bay sweeps the series in Boston and remains a half game up on Oakland for that final wildcard spot in the American League. A's beat the Brewers 5-3. 12 innings for the Twins to fall to the Marlins 5-4, and the Indians lose to the Astros 7-1. So Minnesota remains 3 games up on Cleveland atop the AL Central standings.
From the Fox Business Network, investors are waiting for a key piece of information on the economy today, the July employment report. The Labor Department is expected to report continued job growth in the month. Economists believe the unemployment rate may have declined to 3.6%, and the economy added 164,000 new jobs. Home improvement chain Lowe's is eliminating thousands of workers. The Wall Street Journal says maintenance staff and assemblers were notified they're being laid off and replaced with subcontractors. Lowe's business has been dealing with slower growth than competitor Home Depot. The Dow Jones Industrials erased a more than 300-point rally yesterday after President Trump announced plans for additional tariffs on imports from China to take place next month. The Dow is down 280, NASDAQ dropped 64, S&P down 26. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
Hey, my friend's retail store was the victim of IoT password theft.
Yep. Cybercriminals are taking over security cameras, payment systems, and other IoT devices by exploiting vulnerabilities.
What if they target us and our dispersed network?
We're secured with Barracuda. We have advanced firewalls for our sites, enhanced security for our cloud infrastructure, and total email protection.
Such a relief.
Protect your business at Barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
You take flooring for granted, don't you? I mean, if you think about how much wear and tear you put that floor through, why would you even think about buying a cheap floor when you need one? Buy quality flooring from Mullen Factory Direct Floor Covering in Almond. Mullins buys in bulk, and that means you save money on quality flooring. They even offer 0% interest for qualified buyers. Shop over 400,000 square feet of major name brand in-stock flooring. And get it installed now. And no box store wait. Mullen Factory Direct Floor Covering in Almond. Let them floor you.
Insurance. Everybody needs insurance. I need it. You need it. Your neighbor needs it. Everybody needs insurance. And you can do no better than going to the Ryan Agency. They have 3 offices. The Ryan Agency, they have offices in Hornell, Jasper, and Williamsville. They're local. They know their insurance. They do the insurance shopping for you. What could be better? It's like having your own personal insurance shopper. They offer sound, unbiased advice. They're insurance experts. They're friendly, really nice people there. And they're local. And they also have a website that you can find out a whole bunch more about them. It's oddly enough, RyanAgency.com. And on the website, you can pay your bill, report a claim, email an agent, get a quote, meet the staff, leave a review, get a discount code for a defensive driving course. The Ryan Agency, your best bet. Okay, do I have enough time? Yeah, I do. This is a very strange story. I mean, this is really bizarre. I've never heard of such a thing. And it's kind of creepy. This is in India. Dentists remove 526 teeth from the mouth of a 7-year-old boy. I'm not making this up. This is from Newsweek. In India. 526 teeth. Now, I'm not really good with these names, I'll tell you right now. But anyway, on July 11th, a 7-year-old boy was taken to a dental college and hospital, complaining of a swollen growth on his lower jaw. And when the dentist x-rayed the 7-year-old boy, they found a bag-like tumor containing 526 small teeth. The tumor-like growth prevented permanent molar teeth growth in the boy in the affected side, said a doctor. Okay, these names. So an X-ray and a CAT scan showed multiple rudimentary teeth in a little sac in his mouth. It took 5 hours to remove all the minute teeth. Fortunately, the growth was caught early. All the boy's other teeth are fine, according to his dentists, though the growth of his molars will be affected, requiring molar implants sometime in his teens. According to the founder of the dental college, the surgery was performed free of charge. Wow, 526. Boy, that'd be a buck or two. Anyway, free of charge. While the boy's parents immediately agreed to the operation, it took several hours to convince a 7-year-old boy to cooperate. And it's not the first time something that has happened. In 2014, 232 teeth were removed from the mouth of a Mumbai teen. And there's a name for the super rare condition. It's called compound composite odontoma. Man, that's strange. Anyway, and there we go. As I said, it was kind of a weird week. And That's right. I hear the sound of going. That's it. I will see you Monday morning at 8:05. Bye.